You don't need to exercise or eat more protein to increase your metabolism. There is a better way, more effective way, and it works for women who tried literally everything to lose that stubborn belly fat. So now I will show you what actually causes that slow metabolism and 3 simple steps to fix it. Because when I did it, I was able to go from this to this, and the best part is at the age of 34, staying clean never felt so easy. So let's start with what most women don't realize. Your metabolism depends mostly on your hormones. So exercise and eating more protein is maybe 10-20% of the equation. And honestly, I wish I knew this earlier, because in my 20s, no matter how much I was exercising, I simply couldn't lose my belly fat. What was even worse, that intense exercise only increased cortisol and caused even more belly fat. And the most frustrating thing was all my labs, all my blood tests were within the range. But everything changed when I got into functional medicine. I realized that my thyroid hormones were way below optimal, and that was actually what was keeping me stuck. Because thyroid is literally like the CEO of your metabolism. So no amount of exercise, protein, or metabolism boosting foods will compensate for it. You can think about thyroid like engine in your car. You can have the beautiful Porsche, but if your engine is broken, the journey will be a pain. And if your thyroid is sluggish, the fat loss will be a pain too. So the moment I optimized my thyroid, it was honestly like flipping a switch. I went from eating 1200 calories to 2000 calories, finally like a normal woman, and from 26% to 18% body fat. So here are 3 key steps that will help you fix that slow metabolism and achieve the same. So first step, check your thyroid hormones levels, and on my website you can find functional medicine ranges, the optimal levels you need for that fast, healthy metabolism. After that, you also need to understand 3 key things and foods that impair that thyroid function and your metabolism, which brings me to the second point, metabolism disruptors. And here let's start with the one that actually blew my mind. In my late 20s, I used to go out quite often, most of the weekends drinking 2-3 glasses of wine, which didn't seem like too much. But what turned out, alcohol is actually one of the biggest factors that increase estrogen, and excess estrogen will block your thyroid function and as a result slow down your metabolism. What was even more interesting, having more than 1 drink in one evening will also increase cortisol, the hormone that tells your body to store fat instead of burning it. Anyway, excess estrogen is just 1 out of 3 key metabolism disruptors. PMS, heavy painful periods, or pre-period bloating are just examples of classic signs of that estrogen dominance. If that sounds like you then definitely want to improve that area, and reducing alcohol is one of those small things with a big impact. And I know that at the beginning it may feel bad how you can even go out if you don't drink. And for me it took a while to overcome that belief that I'm the weirdo or I will not have fun. But it's 100% possible, and to be fair, I actually enjoy that more now. And it really comes down to how you wanna feel, how you wanna go about your life. But that's kind of like another topic. Then the second metabolism disruptor, but maybe a little bit less known, histamine. Histamine is pretty much in most foods, but especially fermented foods like sauerkraut, so the healthy one. Then also seafood, cheeses, wine, chocolate, tomatoes, the list is long. So it's not really about avoiding those foods, but making sure your body can break down histamine well. Because histamine overload will increase that estrogen we just mentioned and increase inflammation, and more inflammation means slower thyroid and slower metabolism. For me, it showed up as random skin flare-ups, random bloating, sometimes fatigue after meal, sometimes itchy eyes or stuffed nose. For a long time, I couldn't figure out why, but those are typical symptoms of high histamine. It's a broad topic, but to keep it simple, if your symptoms are random without clear pattern, it's very likely it's high histamine. Quercetin here is great in clearing that excess histamine, but it's not really like long-term solution. Long-term, it's all about improving your gut health and regulating your nervous system and managing stress. Stress itself can increase that histamine, and with poor gut, your body will not be able to metabolize it well. For stress and nervous system, you can check out a few of my other videos, and for the gut, it really depends what the imbalance is, but what helped me a lot was colostrum. Colostrum helps to lower inflammation, improve that immune system, and that histamine response. If you want me to explain gut health a bit more in detail, just drop the comment below. And then the last metabolism disruptor are simply certain foods. Raw spinach and excess soy are two big ones because they interfere with iodine absorption, and low iodine means sluggish thyroid, slow metabolism. That means if you eat raw spinach on a regular basis, for example, swap it with more beneficial greens like endive or broccoli sprouts for salads. And broccoli sprouts, honestly, the superfood for women's health and especially that estrogen balance, which then impacts your metabolism. And for the smoothies, you can just use green powders like wheatgrass, moringa, or chlorella, for example. Also, inside my Superwoman formula, you can find a complete guide how to eat for that healthy thyroid, and on the top of that, how to manage stress, because balanced cortisol is honestly the foundation for hormonal balance and that fast metabolism. Currently, you can get access to the course at a special rate. So now that you know what causes that slow metabolism, the last step is to nourish your thyroid with the right nutrients so it can do the job and you can enjoy the fast metabolism. That means you want to eat thyroid nutrient-rich foods like grass-fed beef, organ meats, and eggs, for example, plus the vitamin D and magnesium from supplements, because those are kind of hard to get just from food. Those nutrients are essential for that healthy thyroid, healthy metabolism, but also what matters is not what we eat, but how we approach that healthy eating. Watch this video next, how to approach fat loss so it feels easy and not like a restriction or constant battle.